How is this strategic partnership shaping the future of AI, HPC, and visualization to accelerate energy outcomes? Find out in this AWS Energy Symposium exclusive interview. Joining us to discuss the strategic direction of AI and energy, we have Marc Spieler, Senior Managing Director for Energy at NVIDIA, and providing the deep industry insight from SLB, we're joined by Shashi Menon, Vice President of Digital. We're seeing such a significant shift in energy. Marc, Shashi, could you explain how the collaboration between SLB and NVIDIA has come to make such a difference in the industry?
Sure. Let me start. We've been working together for over a quarter of a century between our two companies to accelerate the outcomes for oil and gas companies around the world. And, you know, as the energy demands grow, that collaboration has remained tight and continues to get tighter as we launch from visualization to high-performance computing and now into AI workloads to help accelerate the work that energy companies are doing around the world and help them achieve their outcomes much faster.
Yeah, and what I would add to it is that, as NVIDIA technologies evolved from visualization to HPC to AI, it truly allowed us to broaden the spectrum of technologies that we cover using these workflows, ranging from exploration to subsurface modeling to drilling through production. And over time, we have adopted and leveraged these technologies across our entire technology portfolio.
The concept of seismic foundation models built using generative AI is incredibly powerful. How is this cutting-edge approach driving faster, more accurate insights and ultimately improving energy outcomes at scale for your clients?
So I'll have to defer to Shashi on the actual geoscience and the seismic foundational models. But at NVIDIA, we make platforms that accelerate all different kinds of industries. And so it's very critical for us to choose the strongest players in each industry to work with and collaborate with. And SLB is definitely that. And so our ability to leverage their deep industry expertise and then our horizontal platforms has allowed us to take this AI and put it into action. Shashi, maybe you could go deeper on the actual technology.
Glad to, Marc. Yeah, I think for us, one of the most challenging data sets for us and our customers and our companies to process is seismic data. They typically take anywhere from 12 to 18 to 24 months to work with seismic data, with a large team of geophysicists, geologists working on those data sets. The ambition of having something like a seismic foundation model is to how to short circuit all of that. How can we take data sets that take up to 2 years and translate that and say, hey, I can achieve that in 2 months. So that means we need to figure out how to use the power of Gen AI to translate a lot of things that people are doing in their manual workflows to fully automate them, and then leverage the power of AI and the power of compute to completely transform the way our customers will work with seismic data going forward.
When we're looking at things outside or beyond the performance gains, could you elaborate on how advanced AI and accelerated computing solutions help lower environmental footprints in the energy exploration and production?
So I'll take the first stab at this. So it's really comes down to knowledge base, and you want to make the right decisions, and you want to make them fast, and you want to make them accurately. How many wells do you need to drill? The outcome of production, and how do you increase production before going to the next well? How do you reduce emissions through different capabilities? This is why working with a company like SLB, we're able to take their deep industry knowledge working across the entire segment and be able to take that expertise and package it up in a way that all customers benefit. Sometimes customers want to develop their own solutions, and that's great, but their time to market or their time to solve these hard problems is limited by the amount of people that they have. Working with SLB, we've been able to develop some solutions that are not only going to reduce the impacts, but give better outcomes and allow customers to then further adapt those solutions using their own data and outcomes. And this really is going to reduce the environmental impact of additional drilling, of additional production that may cause emissions issues.
Yeah, I think Marc made the right points there. Right? I think for us in an industry where we're exploring for energy resources around the world, there's a large amount of uncertainty there. So that means when geoscientists work with data, they need to understand what are the various scenarios that may exist, and then go to the optimal scenario that will allow them to drill for and produce oil and gas reserves, right? So if we can take the power of compute and AI together and really work through these scenarios and very quickly converge to the optimal one, you reduce the amount of wells you have to drill, you can produce more effectively, right? So that's one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is, as an industry, we are very conscious about our environmental impact. So we, as working closely again with NVIDIA and AWS, we are building out our platform offerings to enable our customers manage their footprint, identify where they may have emissions and other challenges, and help them mitigate those footprints. So we provide a lot of solutions, digital solutions in the emissions management space. We provide solutions in the carbon capture, carbon storage space. All of them are very much targeted to help our customers reduce their environmental footprint.
So, how does this partnership position companies to manage the massive influx of subsurface data more effectively, ensuring that they are not just efficient, but also strategically ready for the next generation of energy workflows?
Energy, and specifically subsurface, has some of the most vast data sets in the world, right? This industry has so much data that the question is how do you access all that data? How do you look for all that data? How do you make sure that all of that data goes into the inputs? Using AI technologies, we're able to train models and be able to access that data. And I shouldn't say access, actually leverage that data, become very data driven and not just data centric. The industry's been very data centric for a long time. Now they're going to be data driven by taking that tremendous amounts of data, training it into models, and now making sure that all of their employees, all of their geophysicists, engineers, geologists, petrophysicists, all have access to the vast amount of data, and that they're able to make better decisions faster.
Yeah, I think that is the most important point, right? I think if you look at most of the oil and gas assets that our customers work with, they're dealing with petabytes of seismic data or thousands of well data. No human can actually be able to work with that amount of data in a meaningful period of time, right? So what advanced accelerated computing solutions and AI really do is that it allows us to extract insights from that data and inform the user on what is relevant for them to work with, so that they focus on the information that brings value to them, and then use the power of AI to provide insights, advice, and even automate their workflows. So that's really where we think this can be a big game changer for all of us.
So, where does AWS come into play with this partnership?
We are a technology provider to our customer base, which are all the oil and gas companies around the world. We take to them the latest and greatest digital technologies. Now, to deliver those solutions to our customers, there are technologies that come from NVIDIA, which really form the underpinnings of these advanced compute and AI capabilities. AWS provides the cloud infrastructure, the platform, the ability to handle large amounts of data. And with their EDI platform, they bring all the subsurface data in one place, right? So from an SLB point of view, we take the best of NVIDIA and we take the best of AWS to provide what we believe is the best technical solutions for our customers.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the big word is scale, right? We build really good platforms. SLB turns those into really good outcomes, but AWS is in the middle of that, and that they're at the end point where they're actually delivering the infrastructure as a service and as a capability to their customers in a way that most traditional IT organizations couldn't do on their own.
Let's say somebody's on the fence about taking this next step to work with this whole trio partnership. What would you say to those companies, and why do you think that it's important for them to partner with this partnership?
I would tell them to get started, right? I would tell them, reach out to your NVIDIA rep, your AWS rep, your SLB rep, and ask them, how do we try running this on AWS, right? How do we get started?
Yeah, it's a very pertinent question, right? I think, if I look at all the oil companies around the world, they're at different levels of maturity on going to the cloud, on adopting AI, etc. So I think we have felt that there are lots of engagement models that we can work with our customers in collaboration and partnership to really get them going on leveraging the best of compute, leveraging the best of AI, and of course, leveraging the best of SLB technologies to solve their problems.